confirm the Independent National Electoral Commission's claim that I won in 21 states, Atiku tells court. A former vice president and candidate of the People Democratic Party (PDP), Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has asked the Presidential Election Petition Court, sitting in Abuja, to declare that he won the presidential election that held on February 25, 2023 in 21 states. Atiku, in a final written address he filed through his team of lawyers led by Chief Chris Uche, SAN, said his claim was based on a reply the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) filed in response to the petition he filed to nullify President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's election. He contended that the electoral body, in its own final brief of argument, neither disputed, retracted, debunked, nor claimed that the averment it made in its reply was in error. Atiku told the court that the Independent National Electoral Commission had, in its reply to the petition, confirmed him as the winner of the presidential contest in Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Borno, Delta, Ekiti, Gombe, Jigawa, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Osun, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara states. The former vice president argued that since the electoral body in its process asserted that he won the election in 21 states, and since he did not rebut the assertion throughout the proceedings, the court should proceed to uphold the declaration. Atiku's final written address read in parts. Very importantly, the first respondent, which is INEC, who conducted the election, made an open admission in paragraph 18 of its reply to the petition, where it unequivocally stated thus: the first respondent further avers that in compliance with extant laws and regulations, it diligently discharged its duties when it collated the first petitioner's scores at the election, which aggregates to 6,984,520, winning only 21 states, to wit: Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Borno, Delta, Ekiti, Gombe, Jigawa, Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Osun, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara states. Indeed, as admitted by the first respondent, which is INEC, the first petitioner, Atiku, won in these 21 states. It is important to note that throughout the trial, the first respondent neither refuted or countermanded this critical averment nor denied it. We urge your lordship to hold that this constitutes an admission that requires no further proof. It also constitutes an admission against interest. The first respondent contested election to the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the platform of the second petitioner, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, which held on the 25th February 2023, along with 17 other candidates, including the second respondent, who is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was the candidate of the ruling party, the All Progressive Congress (APC), in whose favor the electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), manipulated the technologies earlier put in place to ensure transparency and wrongfully returned the said second respondent as winner at about 4 a.m. on March 1st, 2023. At the time, the first respondent admitted that substantial percentage of the results had not been transmitted to the collation system for verification as required by law. Under the cover of the so-called technical glitch excuse, which the first respondent never explained, the results were deliberately manipulated through suppression and discounting of the votes of the first petitioner and inflation of the votes of the second respondent. This deliberate bypass of the use of the prescribed verification technology was nationwide and substantially affected the outcome of the election. The said first respondent equally proceeded to declare the second respondent winner when the second respondent did not meet the mandatory constitutional requirement to secure not less than a quarter of votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This was in addition to the numerous infractions and corrupt practices perpetrated by the respondent. Notwithstanding the first respondent unequivocally and clearly admitted in its pleadings, namely paragraph 18 at paragraph 13 of its reply to the petitioner, which was never refuted or nor retracted, that the petitioners won 21 states of the Federation in the presidential election, which is an admission against interest. As a result of non-use of collation by electronic transmission, the first respondent later altered the admitted results of 21 states for the first petitioner to 12 states. Atiku added. The Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has disputed the results of the 25th February election in 21 of 36 states in Nigeria. The 21 states include 3 of the 11 states. Mr. Obi won based on the final results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). In the states that he won, Mr. Obi is challenging only the figures credited to Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress (APC), who was declared winner of the keenly contested poll. He is disputing the results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission in states including Rivers, Lagos, Taraba, Benue, Adamawa, Imo, Bauchi, Borno, Kaduna, and Plateau states. The rest are Ekiti, Oyo, Ondo, Taraba, Osun, Kano, Katsina, Kwara, Gombe, Yobe, and Niger states. Mr. Obi won in 11 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, based on the results of INEC announced on 1st March 2023. He is also disputing the outcome of the poll in 21 states of the Federation, including 3 that INEC declared him to have won. The 3 states are Lagos, Imo, and Plateau states. The other 8 states and the Federal Capital Territory that he won are excluded from the list. INEC had on March declared Mr. Tinubu the winner of the presidential election with over 8,794,726 votes. Mr. Tinubu led in only 12 of the 36 states of the Federation. The petitioners aver that when the results of polling units, ward local government states are properly tabulated and calculated as required by the Electoral Act and the regulations and guidelines for election, the overall results of the election and percentages scored by the political parties will show that petitioners won the presidential election of 25th February 2023. The petition read in parts. The petitioners therefore urged the court to either declare him president-elect or order for a fresh election. Mr. Obi said Mr. Tinubu also failed to secure 1/4 of the lawful votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, as required by law. He urged that the failure of the Independent National Electoral Commission to promptly upload the results from the polling units through the beavers to the Independent National Electoral Results Viewing Portal on the day of the election invalidated the exercise, but he urged the Election Petition Court to review these unlawful scores added to the second respondent and for those scores which were legitimately obtained by the petitioners to be credited to the petitioner's score. According to Mr. Obi and his party, when the scores unlawfully added to the second respondents are deducted, the petitioners will have the highest number of votes in the election as shown in the forensic report pleaded. Mr. Obi and the Labour Party maintained in their petition that they pulled the majority of the lawful votes cast across the country. The Labour Party candidate said he won the presidential election, but for the suppression of his votes across thousands of polling units, relying on the report of the inspection of the electoral materials and the report of the forensic analysis. Mr. Obi said he would show to the court that his votes were subtracted in many polling units and added to Mr. Tinubu's score. He said his votes were unlawfully reduced and added by the first respondent, INEC, to the scores of the second respondent, Mr. Tinubu.